You're watching NewsView. And now, from Champaign-Urbana, Illinois, it's NewsView.
And the Champaign County Crime Stoppers Bulletin for January 14th, 2013 is as follows. The Champaign Police Department is investigating multiple reports of gun violence after responding to a shooting and several reports of shots fired Sunday, January 6th at 4:30 a.m. A resident in the 1400 block of Holly Hill reported to officers that several rounds were fired into the residence. One of the rounds penetrated the walls of a child's bedroom. The 10-year-old was sleeping in another room at the time of the incident and was not injured. This incident may have stemmed from an altercation that occurred earlier the same night at Bradley's 2, located at 1906 West Bradley Avenue, Champaign. No suspects have been identified at this time. At 7:53 p.m., officers were dispatched to a residence at the 1500 block of Holly Hill Drive for a report of a shooting. A 23-year-old male gunshot victim reported being shot while watching television in his living room with friends. There were 8 additional occupants in the home, but none were injured. The victim was transported to a local hospital for treatment of non-life-threatening injuries. The victim is an employee of Bradley's 2, located at 1906 West Bradley Avenue. At 11:12 p.m. in the 1500 block of Holly Hill Drive, several residents reported hearing gunshots but could not identify a specific location or source. 2 residents then discovered that several of the rounds had entered their homes. No injuries were reported in either incident. No suspects have been identified at this time. A possible suspect vehicle is described as being an orange or red Pontiac Grand Am or Pontiac Bonneville. Police will continue the investigations and make arrests whenever possible. If anyone has any information regarding any of these shootings, please contact Crime Stoppers or the Champaign Police Department at 217-351-4545. Detective Patrick Funkhauser, C12-00130, 1400 block of Holly Hill, 4:30 p.m. incident, and I don't read that part. Anyway, if you have any information regarding the shootings and the identity or whereabouts of the suspects, call Crime Stoppers at 217-373-TIPS. That's 217-373-TIPS or 217-373-8477. Information can also be sent by anonymous web tip by going to www.373tips.com or by sending an anonymous cell phone text to the following: tip 397 plus information to CRIMES, that's crimes, or 274637. The information you provide is confidential. You do not have to give your name or appear in court. Crime Stoppers will pay a reward if the information you provide leads to an arrest. Cash rewards are also paid for information on other felony crimes or fugitives in the Champaign County area. And the top story tonight on Newsview is from the Daily Caller at dailycaller.com. And they say a Champaign, Illinois man drowned January 1st in a mall pond as increasingly angry observers demanded a rescue, at least 13 minutes after the local fire department arrived on the scene. The man, Kenneth Brown, 20, slipped under the freezing water 18 minutes after falling through the ice, but local firefighters didn't launch an inflatable boat until just before he disappeared. The firefighters pulled Brown's body out of the water roughly an hour after they arrived. At least one passing resident recorded much of the event, including the moment when Brown went under the water. Onlookers demanded firefighters rescue the man and even volunteered for the task, but were told by the Champaign police to stay away. The professionals' caution contrasted with a rushed December 30th rescue of a man who fell into ice near a sledding site in California. Numerous sledders rushed to the man's aid, only to also fall through the thin ice. They all escaped the ice when inflatable sleds were thrown into the icy water. A Champaign firefighter declined to comment on Brown's slow-motion death, while 22 firefighters and 6 vehicles stood on the nearby shore. "We can't say anything about it," the firefighter told the Daily Caller. "We're directing all responses to Champaign Police Department." The Champaign Police Department did not return the Daily Caller's calls. Brown's death has prompted complaints in the city about the inaction by police and firefighters. And that happened in Champaign, Illinois. I'm not reading the whole thing. There's more. You can see it at the Daily Caller. And there's a YouTube video with the address youtube.com/getliquefied. This was written by Neil Monroe of the Daily Caller. And if you want more about that story, I can maybe bring you more next week. We'll see. And according to WCIA television in Champaign, Illinois, a man who admitted to sexually abusing a young girl will spend 3 years behind bars. Geronimo Bolanos Ryan pleaded guilty to felony aggravated criminal sex abuse charges. A judge told him he'll likely be deported to Mexico after completing his sentence. He began abusing a child in his care back in 2007. It continued for several years, according to Channel 3 in Champaign. And according to WEEK, WHOI TV stations in Peoria, at week.com, authorities in Peoria are investigating the cause of an overnight explosion, and this is from January 9th. An explosion that caused temporary shutdown a temporary shutdown of operations at the Archer Daniels Midland plant in Peoria. The company says it called the fire department around 3 a.m. and that operations at the plant have been halted until further notice. All of the ADM employees have been accounted for. Much of the early morning, the sustained tone of the siren alarm could be heard at the plant. Additionally, firefighters shut down Washington Street between Chicago and MacArthur. Authorities say the explosion occurred in the boiler area of the plant. Quote, "They're very, very lucky," unquote, said Davison Chief Ed Olvey. I mean, the personnel there are very lucky. They had, like I said, no injuries that we know of. In a blast like that, it could have very easily, taken out many people, unquote. As is customary, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, along with the state fire marshal, will join local authorities in their investigation of the explosion and fire at the ADM plant in Peoria. Damage is estimated in the $1 million range. And according to KDKA CBS TV in Pennsylvania, Swissvale police are increasing patrols near a school bus stop where two major brawls happened the past few days. Cell phone videos captured by students show a crowd of as many as 60 students and parents fighting in the streets of Swissvale on both Monday and Tuesday. They were riots, says Swissvale Police Chief Greg Geppert. Even worse, the fights were made up of both kids and adults. Police say they have already arrested 5 adults and minors and are looking for close to a dozen more. The students and parents were reportedly from the Woodland Hills School District. "It was appalling. I've been very disappointed," says Woodland Hills School Superintendent Alan Johnson. The superintendent says any students involved with the brawls will be suspended and expelled from school if possible. Meantime, those who witnessed the fights in the neighborhood along South Braddock Avenue in Swissvale say they are afraid to walk to the store. "I'm afraid for my life," says a woman. "I won't go for a walk anymore." The woman didn't want to be identified. Four different local police departments are working to find all of the students and adults fighting on the video. That from KDKA out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And we'll be back after this. Stay tuned for more NewsView and NewsView weather for Champaign, Springfield, and the rest of this area after this. Welcome back to Newsview. I'm Michael Badger. A study, according to U.S. News and World Report at usnews.com, Jason Kobler says a study says that diet soda is linked to depression. Millions of people reach for an afternoon diet soda as a pick-me-up to make it through the rest of the day. But new research suggests sodas and other sugary drinks, especially artificially sweetened ones, could be related to depression. According to the research, which will be officially released at the American Academy of Neurology's annual meeting in mid-March, people who drink 4 cans or more of soda daily are about 30% more likely to be diagnosed with depression than people who don't drink soda. Coffee drinkers are about 10% less likely to develop depression than people who don't drink coffee. The National Institutes of Health study included more than 250,000 people between the ages of 50 and 71 and studied their drink consumption during 1995 and 1996. A decade later, researchers asked whether participants had been diagnosed with depression since the year 2000. According to the researchers, the risk appeared to be greater for people who drank diet rather than regular soda. They also say our research suggests that cutting out or down on sweetened diet drinks or replacing them with unsweetened coffee may naturally help lower your depression risk. Hongli Chen, who led the study, said in a statement. More research is needed to confirm these findings, and people with depression should continue to take depression medications prescribed by their doctors. And according to the Wall Street Journal blog, Maretta Cauchy says, if ever there was a sign that for the super rich, austerity is something that happens to other people, take a look at the results of a Rolls-Royce, British car manufacturer whose customized sedans are a byword for automotive luxury. The fabled British Marquis, which Thursday said it would launch a new model in its Ghost range of limousines this year, reported its second consecutive annual sales record in its 108 years of history last year, though overall sales rose only around 1% on year. Still, selling even a few hundred more cars is big business for Rolls-Royce, given that its cheapest model sets a customer back by $272,000, or 170,000 pounds. The automaker, a wholly owned unit of Germany's BMW AG, sold 3,575 cars as it pushed into new markets including Latino America and Thailand, with sales in its fastest growing market, the Middle East, up 25%. Rolls-Royce isn't alone in enjoying the sustained worldwide demand for premium cars. BMW itself sold a record number of its namesake brand and mini cars in 2012, as did Audi AG, the premium car maker owned by Volkswagen AG, Daimler AG unit, Mercedes-Benz, and Jaguar Land Rover, which is owned by India's Tata Motors company. Premium and luxury car sales worldwide have grown by an average of 13% over the past 4 years. According to automotive research consultancy JATO Dynamics, but with the premium market, the top-end super luxury brands such as Rolls-Royce, Volkswagen's Bentley, and Fiat SPA's Maserati, growth has been even faster, up 36% over the same period, said JATO. Bentley Thursday said its sales rose 22% to 8,510 cars last year from the year before. And you can read more about that at the Wall Street Journal's driver's seat blog. And in Washington, according to the Associated Press's Erica Werner, Vice President Joe Biden vowed urgent action against gun violence in America Wednesday, pledging steps by the Obama administration that he said could take, quote, thousands of people out of harm's way and improve the safety of millions more. But a day ahead of the meeting with the National Rifle Association, which has snuck past gun control efforts and is opposing any new ones, Biden signaled that the administration is mindful of political realities that could imperil sweeping gun control legislation and is willing to settle for something less. And you can read more about that from the AP. And according to Canada Free Press, Andrew P. Morris, he writes, Dateline Tuscaloosa, Alabama. For more than 2 decades, special interests have persuaded Congress to mandate Americans buy ethanol whether they want to or not. As a result, 40% of the U.S. corn crop is now used for ethanol rather than food. The ethanol mandate means that ordinary Americans pay more for a poorer quality automobile fuel and more for groceries. Ethanol proponents claim these costs will bring us environmental benefits and energy security. They are wrong. A good first question about a mandate is, quote, how good can a product be if you have to force people to buy it, unquote. The answer, not very good. Ethanol is vastly inferior to gasoline. Energy density is a third lower, reducing cars' emissions. It attracts water, so it cannot be transported in regular gas and oil pipelines, reduces lubricants it reduces lubricants' effectiveness, and shortens engine life. It is caustic, corroding engine parts and dislodging contaminants from fuel tanks. While ethanol doesn't make gasoline cleaner, the more intensive farming and water needs of ethanol refining harm the environment. Moreover, mandates for ethanol don't enhance national security because production of corn-based ethanol, the main type of ethanol used in America, requires roughly as much energy as the ethanol contains. Running tractors, combines, and trucks, making fertilizer, and refining corn into ethanol all require energy, mostly from oil and natural gas. If the weather is good, corn ethanol shows a slight energy gain over the fuel used to make it. If not, it might be a net loss. The ethanol mandate just burns money to turn oil and natural gas into corn. The mandate for corn-based ethanol also drives up food prices. Meeting the 2015 mandate will require using 5.3 billion bushels of corn. As a result, the forced conversion of corn to ethanol. Any food containing corn, including pork, beef, and ice cream, costs more. The National Council of Chain Restaurants estimates the ethanol mandate costs each of its members $18,000 per year, an inconvenience for wealthy people. Rising corn prices are disastrous for the poor, at home and abroad. A Tufts University study estimates that Mexicans paid $1.5 billion more for food from 2006 to 2011. During 2012's drought, U.S. hog farmers imported corn from Brazil while U.S. corn was being made into ethanol. And you can read more about that at Canada Free Press. Thanks for watching. You can email me at newsview@email.com and visit me on Twitter at NewsviewUrbana. Have a great evening. I'm Michael Badger, and good night. And here's your Champaign-Urbana and South Central Illinois weather forecast. Friday night, mostly cloudy, a low of 51 tonight. Saturday, mostly cloudy skies with a high of 56 degrees. Saturday night, rain and/or snow likely, a low of 31 degrees Fahrenheit. Sunday, mostly cloudy with rain and/or snow possible, a high of 32 degrees. Sunday night, mostly cloudy with a low of 18. I'm Michael Badger, and this has been your Newsview weather for South Central Illinois.